Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Beauty Connective podcast, where beauty professionals all over the industry are coming together to grow, connect, and get really real about what it's like mixing business with beauty. This episode is brought to you by the Beauty Connective, a brand new beauty directory and search engine created by beauty professionals for beauty professionals that makes it easier than ever for clients in your local area to filter by location, pricing, availability, and read reviews to find you without you having to be on the social media grind. Today, I'm joined by me, myself, and I. I'm coming at you with a special solo episode because it is the 1-year anniversary of the podcast, which is so crazy to say. I can't believe it's already been a year. Like, time just passes, which is crazy. And I have learned so much in the past year just from doing this podcast, with the logistics of doing the podcast, but mainly with all of the amazing guests that I've had on. And I just thought it'd be fun to recap all of the main takeaways and the main lessons that I've learned over the past year. This currently recording is our 22nd episode. So I've had 21 different guests on. One of them is not released yet. The last one that I recorded with another amazing guest that's going to come out in a couple weeks. But I just can't believe how many incredibly knowledgeable humans I've had in this chair. And I just really kind of wanted to summarize everything that I've learned from them in the past year. I think I really had sort of no business starting a podcast. I had no idea where to start with it. I don't even know where the idea came from. I just knew that I really enjoyed talking about business in the beauty industry. I really loved, just with my own clientele building, I loved talking to other people about how I built that clientele, how I've retained that clientele, how I run the back end of the finances and posting on social media, and how to give your clients a really great experience that makes them come back, makes them tell all their friends about you. I just loved talking about all of those things. And I guess I kind of thought that talking about those things with other beauty professionals would just be fun. And I was right, because it has been so much fun. But I think I might have thought that it was going to be more of like tips and tricks. But what I've learned over the past year from all of the incredible hairstylists, nail techs, brow artists, esthetician, marketing experts in the beauty, just like everyone I've talked to, what I've really learned is that it is more so in your mindset. It's so much about what your head is telling you, what your brain is saying, and putting yourself in the correct frame of mind, and how that really is what makes you so successful. And so I've learned so much about that. But before I kind of dive into the main 5 big lessons I've learned from all of these guests, I wanted to just talk on a personal level about what I have seen in myself and the growth I've seen since a year ago. Honestly, it's so funny thinking back to the first podcast episode that I recorded, because I re-recorded it 4 different times for it to be even like remotely non-cringe enough for me to feel comfortable posting. I started out having one of my friends, her boyfriend came over. He had experience with podcasting, and so he kind of helped me with the setup, which was amazing. Thank you. Shout out to McKay. And he came to help me record my first episode. And the way I cringed thinking back to that, because I was like so awkward. I didn't know how to act. I felt so weird that he was like watching me. Like it just like was way too cringe to even post that one. That was not the version that you saw in episode 1. That version that you saw was 3 more versions down the line. I literally sat down to record it so many times because I just didn't even know how to talk or what to say or what to do or what a podcast should sound like. I don't know. So even just the growth of coming from thinking about a year ago now, and that being the state of the first episode to now. And I'm like, this one's going to be a one-hit wonder, baby. We're doing this one take. So let's go. I really have just seen so much growth in myself, and listening to all of the episodes over, I try to say my ums and my likes less, and I try to vary my responses to guests instead of saying, I feel like I always just want to say like, yeah, super cool, totally, 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 after everything they say. So just in that aspect, I've seen just growth in myself since then. And I feel like it just goes to show that it's unfortunately true that when you put yourself outside of your comfort zone, you end up expanding your comfort zone, and being out of your comfort zone becomes more comfortable. And I really have experienced that with this podcast, watching myself on camera and hearing my voice. Like, it's just normal for me now. It's just regular. You know how sometimes when you record yourself in a video, I'm sure everyone has felt this way. Once you watch that video back, you're like, that's how I sound. And it's so funny because now I know how I sound on camera and on video. And so it's just crazy how much a year can do, being outside of your comfort zone and kind of doing those things. And I have just had such a blast. Like, truly, every single one of my guests has been so much fun to chat with. I really just love yapping in this place. And not to mention the editing of it all. The learning curve of figuring out how to edit a podcast and how to cut social clips for a podcast to post on social media. Yikes. The journey that has been alone, I don't know. I just thought it was going to be easy. Like, I edit some videos on social media. This should be easy. It's not the same thing. My dad started to help me. We had to trial and error so many things to figure this out. And finally, I did end up hiring someone. Shout out to Henry, is my podcast editor now, and he does an incredible job, and I'm so grateful for him. We finally figured out the recipe between recording the audio and the videos and then putting those together, all the things. That's been a journey in and of itself. So I'm really proud of how far we've come with that this past year as well. So now I want to dive into the top 5 things I have taken away over the past year from my podcast guests. Overall, just talking with hairstylists, estheticians, nail techs, brow artists, marketing experts, just talking to all of these people, I have learned how much more cohesive the beauty industry is than I originally thought. I felt like nails were just separate. We're just in our nail world. But every single sector of the beauty industry has so much overlap, especially on the business end of things. I feel like talking to all these people, I've just learned that hairstylists are running a back end very similarly to the way that nail techs are running a back end. And same with building clientele. Building clientele for an esthetician, similar to the way that nail techs are growing clientele. We're so much more the same than we are different. And I didn't realize that before having discussions with other sectors of the industry. And I also kind of mentioned this, but I think at first I did think that we were going to talk tips and tricks, which we have. And some episodes have been much more focused on practical advice and things to like practically do in your business and things like that. But the large majority of it has been focused on talking about mindset, talking about confidence, talking about how those pieces are such huge drivers for your success in the beauty industry. Almost every single person that sat in this chair and had success in the beauty industry talks about how they have been through lots of struggles and pivots and have had to overcome those things by working on themselves, working on their mindset, working on their drive, their confidence, their inner self to really overcome a lot of those things. The second thing that I've learned overall is that success in the beauty industry, and I think overall in life, never follows a straight line. I hear all the time when I ask people to share their story of how they ended up where they are, how they landed where they're at now. So often the first thing they say is, I never thought I would end up here. Never did I plan on being where I'm at now. And I personally relate to that so much because that's exactly my story. I mean, I started off in teaching. I taught 6th grade for 3 years. I know I talk about this all the time because education is such a passion of mine. I guess there's a lot of fear in changing what you're doing, and there's a lot of fear in leaving something that you're so into. I mean, I spent 4 years of a college degree learning and preparing to be an educator, and then I taught for 3 years in it, and I got my master's degree in there. So much time and energy and effort and money had been invested in this whole career, and it's like, ugh, how can I just leave that? How can I just abandon that? I felt like a failure. I felt like, oh, I'm just not good enough to, persevere in this career. And I think there was so much fear in that for me. And so hearing that is such a common experience, especially for people who have landed in the beauty industry and had so much success in it, has been really reassuring for me personally, and just talking to people about all the different pivots that they can make. I just had a conversation the other day with Tess Gilliland, who her episode's not released yet, but you will hear in that episode, she talks about how she started in hair, and then she went into like summer sales and doing sales, and then she went into life coaching, and then she landed in brows, and now she's an incredibly successful brow artist who is starting up her own school. She already runs her own salon, and now she's starting up her own brow and lash school. And I think it's amazing because so much of your different experiences help you grow and push you in the beauty industry, because in the beauty industry you have to have so much versatility. You're not just doing the craft and learning the thing, hair, nails, aesthetics, whatever, but you're also running a business. You're also in the people business. Like, you're working with people. You're essentially doing customer service every single day. Like, you have to have so many skills. So I just think it's so interesting hearing from people who have done the same thing. And like I said, Tess started in hair and then went to sales. And then one of the podcast episodes I did with Mar Aranda, she had been owning and running her own salon, and then she decided to make a huge pivot and start working in a commission salon again for somebody else. And she said that was the best decision of her life. And there are so many opportunities and directions that you can take a career in the beauty industry, and it's always okay to pivot. Rihanna Kester, I talked to her all about her cuticle oil business, and she was a nail tech, and now she's completely pivoted and she's running a really successful cuticle oil business. And that was amazing to hear about. I just love her. She's such a boss businesswoman. So there's just so much resiliency in this industry. So many different things people have overcome, and if they can do it, so can you. If they can do it, so can I. And I just have loved hearing everyone's journeys in the way that one thing that they think they're going to do leads to something else that they didn't expect. And I just think there's so much power in that. That's been a really cool lesson for me. My number 3 big takeaway from all of the last 21 episodes that I have recorded is that working in the beauty industry is hard work, and it should be acknowledged more than it is. Sophia Wood and I had a discussion specifically about nail techs and in the nail industry. And I had reached out to so many people, and so many people had shared stories with me about how they have felt or been looked down on or just felt lesser than because they are working in the beauty industry and because they are a nail tech or a hairstylist. And this idea that, oh, I just do nails, or I just do hair. It's like, no, you don't just do hair. There is so much more to it than that. There's so much that you're doing to just really help people in their lives. I mean, going to get your hair done, going to get your nails done, I always say it's the best day of the week or month. Like, you're looking forward to it. Everyone loves to go get their nails or their hair done. And it's because of the experience that beauty professionals are providing. And it's how you're able to give someone an experience where, like, they're taking care of themselves. They are feeling worthy and important. Like, they're leaving feeling more beautiful. There's just so much value in all that you're doing behind the scenes as a beauty service provider and all of the things you're doing behind the scenes that provides for that type of experience, that somebody really enters, has a great experience, leaves feeling transformed in some way and going about their life in a better way. It's just, there's so much power in it. And I'm just such a huge advocate for working in the beauty industry because of the power that you do hold and the relationships that you make with people along the way. I mean, I have some of the coolest clients. I hang out with my clients. I just love the relationships that I've built with my clients because we chat every few weeks. I hear what's going on with their life. They listen to my drama and what's going on in my life. It's just, those relationships are really special. I had a discussion with June Koo of Butter Shears just a couple weeks ago. He is a shear sharpener. He walks into hundreds of salons every month, and he really sees from an outsider's perspective things that are going on in hair salons, which was really fascinating. But I really also took away from him, he talked about just how impressive the hair industry is, how impressive what he sees hairstylists doing on a day-to-day, how long they're standing up and how they're interacting with their clients, and just the good successful stylists, everything that they're doing, and how some of them will tell him, oh, I'm just doing hair. And it's not just doing hair. Give yourself so much more credit for what you're doing. One of still my most memorable episodes was early on with, she's actually one of my clients. Her name's Jenna Puzio. She is a hairstylist. She actually cuts my hair. I'm super lucky for that because she doesn't take clients right now. But she talks about how she moved from New Jersey to Utah and had to start from complete scratch to build a clientele, and how she was able to do that and how she did it so quickly that people wanted to know how she was doing. So she ended up pivoting and helping other stylists learn how to grow their clientele. And now she runs a successful marketing business for salons to help them market and grow their businesses. She's incredible. And she talked a lot about how one really important thing in becoming a successful stylist, where clients want to come, clients will tell their friends about, is positioning yourself as an expert and all the different ways that you can do that so that your clients really see you as the number one expert. They see you as the person who knows their hair better than anybody, explains things to them they've never been explained before. And that builds a loyalty with clients where they're like, I used to go to her. I don't know if she knew what she was doing because she never told that to me. She never explained this all to me the way that you did. And just the power of positioning yourself as an expert and how that can help you grow your clientele. And that really just kind of goes back to all the behind the scenes things that we're doing as beauty professionals, all the things that we're doing to build trust with our clients, build loyalty, improve our craft, and just working to be better at what we're doing. There's so much involved in it, and really, the beauty industry deserves so much more credit than it gets. Number 4 thing that I have learned in the past year is that people who are successful in the beauty industry are relentless about improving and are always working to improve their craft. This is such an essential piece of the puzzle of success in the beauty industry. How many times am I going to say beauty industry in this episode? But yeah, improving and perfecting and learning and reevaluating and learning and reevaluating is a key factor and a similarity between everyone who is successful in this industry. It isn't enough just to graduate from school. You need to keep perfecting, keep working at, and keep honing your craft. One of the best examples of this that I spoke with was Evan Stowers. He is a hairstylist down in St. George. He owns his own salon and he teaches and educates, and he has been in the industry, I believe it was like 15 or 20 years. And that was the biggest thing that he talked with me about, was just never being afraid to not know something and go learn it, and taking classes and taking more classes and working and practicing and learning a lot of things so that you can be diverse at what you're good at, but also learning what you like most, learning what you like to do. And kind of along with that, I had a good episode with Alyssa Freeman. She's actually my esthetician, and she talked about just the importance of having a niche within the industry and learning the things that you're good at and really zeroing in on those things, and being really good at those things will actually attract the clientele that you want, more so than being good at every single thing, because it kind of builds trust when people know that you're really good at one specific thing. Then people who want that specific thing are going to come straight to you because you're the one that knows really well that one thing compared to everyone else who does that and a bunch of other stuff and advertise being good at everything. So really focusing on that thing that you're really good at and that you really enjoy, because your job's going to be that much more fun if you're doing the one thing that you like to do the most, which for me is structured manicures. I love that. I decided I didn't want to do acrylic or gel X or other things that I just didn't love as much. Extensions, I don't do those because I don't like them as much. I like to do structured gel manicures. It's what I'm best at, and that's what I get to spend my client days doing. And so always working toward improvement is one way to keep building your clientele, keep attracting clientele, retain clientele. Another favorite episode that I had was with Malia Heron. She talked about how she was conjoined. She was a conjoined twin at birth for the first 4 years of her life, and then she was separated, and now has one leg. And she talked about how that has kind of informed her way through the beauty industry, and also was just so inspired by her and her resilience and everything that she's been through, and just her like relentless work towards improving and overcoming all these obstacles that she personally has to go through, and being successful and having a full nail clientele and everything like that. And so I'm just always so inspired by keep going, keep learning, keep improving. That is what will make you successful in this industry. Number 5, and probably the biggest takeaway for me, is that mindset is everything. I have had such cool conversations about how people have landed where they're at and how they have found their success. Such a huge part of that story is the obstacles that they have overcome and the mindset shifts they've had to make in order to overcome those things and land where they're at. One of the episodes that really stands out in that regard was with Kenz Davis. She's a hairstylist in California, and she mentors other hairstylists as well, owns her salon and everything like that. But she talked about just the inner work and inner healing to have to get yourself into a space where you can be open and vulnerable and not let any downfalls or failures get to you, and to just keep persisting, and how healing your wounds inside and learning how to speak kindly to yourself and have confidence in yourself and what you're doing, how that will propel you forward. And when you don't have those things, when you do have the doubts, when you have the failures, when you have the lack of confidence there, it will just hinder you so much in that progression. Another big theme of what successful people in this industry do is they keep showing up when things are hard and when things don't feel fun anymore. There are things that you have to do that don't feel fun, but when you keep showing up, success is inevitable down the road. And being in the beauty industry isn't always going to be fun. You're going to have clients that you don't get along with, or situations that bring you down, or someone that's not happy with your service, and it's going to make you doubt yourself. But if you can have that confidence and know that you can overcome things and trust yourself in that, then you won't be part of the statistic of people who leave the beauty industry within the first couple of years of graduating from school, because there are so many. It's a really high percentage, and I cannot remember at the moment what the percentage is, but it's definitely over 50% within the first 2 years will leave after entering school. And I think a lot of that is because we're unprepared for the hurdles that are going to come along with running a business and working with people, and how to overcome those things. Believing in your dreams and following them and seeing them through. I remember that I was talking with Morgan Tucker. She is a nail tech in Utah. She owns Luxe Nail Co. She talked about how when she decided to create a space for other nail techs and kind of create a community within her salon, that she just did it. And I think that doers just do it and don't spend too much time thinking about every reason not to, but instead thinking of the reasons to do it and then just doing it. Overall, from all of these incredible beauty professionals that I've talked to, I've just learned that you can do it. You can do the thing that you want to do. Believe it, do it. Don't let anybody stop you. Don't let failures stop you, because you're going to run into failures. And if you let them stop you, then inevitably you will fail. Everyone who has ever been successful had to work through the failures, every single one. And so I think that failure is inevitable, but success is beyond that if you don't let the failures stop you. So I just want to sincerely give a huge thank you to everyone who has listened to any portion of this podcast. My goal really was to create some more community around some of these conversations that I feel like I wanted to have more of. I wasn't having enough of working on my own in my own at-home nail salon. I wanted to talk with more people about these things and just really just provide more information and more insight and stories about what it takes to be successful and run a successful and sustainable business in the beauty industry. And so I'm just really grateful for everyone listening. Thank you for being here, and thanks for supporting this podcast, the platform. It just truly, really means everything to me. And thank you to all the guests that I've had on the podcast. Oh my gosh, I could never have imagined how cool that everyone is and how willing to share everyone is and how vulnerable everyone is. And I'm just so grateful. So thank you for being my guest on the podcast. My goal with this podcast and with the Beauty Connective platform is to change the industry. I want to help in making it easier for people to enter the beauty industry as a nail tech, hairstylist, esthetician, whatever it is, and be able to hit the ground running upon graduating and see success and have long-term success and stay in the industry by having discussions about the business side, how and what to expect when running a business in the beauty industry, and how to overcome those obstacles. And I want to make it easier for you to build your clientele. I want clients to find you through the Beauty Connective. I want you to know what to expect when you're running a business and be able to do that successfully. And I just want to make it easier for everybody. That is my overarching main goal for everything that we're doing with the podcast and the Beauty Connective. So join me in changing and revolutionizing the beauty industry. How you do that is by joining the Beauty Connective. Join and create a profile on there. The more people that show up there as a beauty professional, the more useful it will be for clients, and the more useful the site will be overall for everybody involved, both beauty pros and clients. And we can make a world where beauty professionals don't have to be fighting for attention on social media and fighting for the algorithm to push out their videos in order to find clients. I just want it to be easier for everyone to easily search and find you. So join the revolution, create a profile today, and thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for listening to this week's episode of the Beauty Connective podcast. If you're a beauty professional who wants to change the industry with us, go to thebeautyconnective.com today to create your profile.